Because we're here. You showed up. I mean, that's all it takes to win is to show up and not give up. And that's what we're all about here on this call. You guys have been, sticking with it 45 straight days, back to back, tips and nuggets from the very best all across of Legal Shield. So, hey, listen, without any further ado, guys, I'm just going to step out of the way here and invite our guest speaker in today. She's having some problems with her webcam, so we can't get her on cam, but we could definitely get her to bless us with some of her incredible knowledge. She's $100,000 income earner with Legal Shield. She's an executive director. She's even a regional director out in Louisiana. I know it's early for her, and I just found out that she was pregnant. So congratulations, Miss Timber Mosley. Good morning, ma'am. You there?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to be here, guys. I started Legal Shield. I tell everybody I started Legal Shield the day I turned 18, but my mom's been in Legal Shield since I was 10 years old. And in 1999, she was a single mama who was working at a factory connection store. And, retail's either busy or it's not busy at all. And she picked up a newspaper and it said, if you're not afraid to speak in small groups, build a sales team, and make $100,000 a year, give us a call. And she thought, yeah, right, because she had always thought if it looks too good to be true and it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. But just because she was bored and didn't have a lot to do that day, she decided to call the person anyway and mess with them. And she was presented the Legal Shield opportunity back in 1998. And at first, she was like, this is something I can't do. I don't want to do this. These people have made the pasture look a lot greener than it is. So for her, the fortune was in the follow up, because if the man would have gave up on her and just said, well, I'm not ever calling her back again, he would have missed out on somebody that sold 10,000 memberships. And so I'm so thankful he kept bugging her. And I remember what was big in our life was in retail, you got a big Christmas bonus. My mom had the best store in the state of Arkansas, and she was supposed to get a $1,500 bonus. And when she opened the check, it was a $150 bonus. And so she threw the keys in the middle of the floor, locked up the building, and left. And she did Legal Shield full time. Now, I'm not telling anybody that that's probably the smartest thing to do, but I'm telling you guys that's her story. And that year for us, if a mom's making $500 a week and then she starts making $4,000, $5,000 a month, there's a lot that can happen in a lifestyle change. So we were able to start going to the lake on a party barge that she bought as a single mom. And it was the first time she was able to take her three kids to do the things that she wanted to do. I can remember her getting crafty with us when we were little, and we'd go to Walmart on Thursday because you could write a check on Thursday night and it wouldn't go through till Friday when she got paid. But then it got to the point when she started doing Legal Shield, she was able to do for us like she had never done for us before. So then fast forward to me being 23 years old, and that would have been in 2012, and I had a baby. And I was with a guy that was kind of a jerk, just to be honest with y'all. So I started working my Legal Shield business full force, and there's never been a year in my life where I didn't make 85,000 plus dollars a year. So it was a blessing to do that. I'm gonna leave you guys with 3 or 4 tips on how that happened for me. And I think the biggest thing was for me, what I mean by that is if you're sitting working your business, whether it's recruiting or whether it's group marketing, I do a lot more B2B right now in this season of my life just because I've opened 90 accounts. But whenever 2016, 2017, 2018, I built a team. And so I still have a team that they produce, there's about 6 Performance Club earners, which is a blessing. And because they hit Performance Club every month, it makes my life a lot easier. But what I did learn was have 2 really good friends named Kevin Moeller and Alex Shahid. And one day they were talking to me and they said, you're just a groupie. You'll never be able to recruit like us. And so I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to out recruit y'all this year. And I did. That's why I have a gold lady and they don't. But the point I'm making is I sat there and I said, I'm going to do more than y'all do this year. And it was all because they made fun of me. And my first PBR I had, nobody came. And I was like just sitting there and nobody showed up. And me and my mom sat there and just ate pizza and drank root beer. And we were so happy because we were like, who cares? We've already went out and ED'd this month in group. It's a lot of fun when you find multiple ways to make money in Legal Shield. So if you're doing selling small business plans and you're recruiting too, if you can get to what number you need for you and your family and you're making that, and then you can start recruiting on top of that, it's a blessing to just be able to go out and add extra to your business. And so I was like, you know what? People might not like me right now because I'm not a center of influence, but I'm going to go out and find a ton of center of influences that can be on my team because they're going to know a lot more people. I know how to sell the product. So if I can just sell the membership right, and then they can come in and learn how to sell it under me and find more people to sell it, we can build a big sales team. Had no idea what we were doing. And in 6 months, we added 480 people to our team just by saying, hey, want to show you this membership. You can either earn money off of it and this is all Dave Savula, like, here's this membership. You can either earn money off of it or you can flip the page over and write down 5 to 10 people that we could be selling it to. And I'm either going to call them as referrals because you think this is a great product, or we're going to call them together and you're going to make money off of it. Which one do you want to do? So the first girl I found that I was like doing this with, I just knew that everybody liked her. So I just went through Facebook and creeped, and I was like, I'm gonna find somebody that everybody likes. And every time this girl had a birthday party, there was always 80 people at her house. I was just looking for somebody who got along with people a lot better than I do. At the first party I had for her, I asked her, I said, why are we doing this? Like, why are we having this party so I can sell Legal Shield? She said, well, number one, when I bought this product, I believe everybody I know needs it. And that was a blessing because what I learned right there was we have to find people that believe in the product before they even sell it. And what I mean by that is because of the way I've sold the product to my people, most of them, even when they're not making money, will still keep the product and still be a part of Legal Shield, whether they're active or not active. But with her, I said, what is the main goal for you though? Like, what do you need to benefit out of this? Well, my husband works all the time. We have 4 kids, and I'd love to put my kids in dance. And then I would also love to be able to make this much extra a month. So then I took our commission chart and I showed her what she needed to sell on that one night to make what she would need to, do those extra things. And I said, you know what, I'm going to incentivize it even more. I was an executive director at the time. She was just an associate. I said, if you can get 20 people to come to this first PBR, I'll give you $100 in cash just to start the night. And what I did know was when I got in front of groups of people, I could sell 80% of who was in the room. So I just needed the people in the room. And so I brought these people to this pizza joint. I made sure I told them to drink water, not Cokes, because Cokes are $1.99 a piece. And there was 31 people in the room, so I didn't want to pay $70 and root beer, but I was okay with buying everybody pizza. And when we went in there, her first night, she sold 16 legal and identity theft plans. And I was able to walk away from there asking who else wants to do this here, because this is what she just made. And I said, I'm not saying this to like boast or brag. I'm telling you the small gains of what she made. And y'all know what was even more beautiful? I was tickled pink for her, but I made a lot more money than she did as the executive director. And that's the beautiful thing about how our business is perfected, is because you can reach down and go help somebody. And as you're helping them, you can make more money than what they're making. Even if you're on the phone and you're a director, like, that's a blessing when you have your first PBR. And so, my 3 takeaways for y'all today is just knowing that even though I had a built-in group school teacher and I really went to every APT there ever was before I was even old enough to sell Legal Shield, which was advanced product training, I even after 1 full year of working, I still messed things up. I was still growing. I was still learning. I still needed these calls. And I think if you're like me, I love church, and I'll just say something about that. Legal Shield coming to coming to PBRs, coming to briefings, coming to super churches, it's a lot like fellowship at your church. You do it so you can be around associations that are like-minded just like you, and you never know like what you're going to like learn along the way. So the number one thing is, when you're here for a year, even if you master ED, it doesn't mean that you know everything, and it doesn't mean that you're not still in a growth process and being able to learn. And I feel like the minute that you feel like you're at that stage, you're going to cripple yourself. So it's probably a big blessing to just never get there. And then the number two thing I would say is don't lean on one person to make or break you. So the best thing you could do as an upline is when you recruit somebody, um, team building was a big deal to me, to not treat people like a number, but everybody had a name. I wanted to know about them. I wanted to know about their kids. I wanted to know about something about them that I could talk to them about besides just making money. So I found a common interest with each person on my team. But when I would sit down with people, I wanted to make their process as easy as I could. So if I was sitting down with Mr. Willie right there, who I like his background, looks like he's having a good time right there. I probably would have said, "Hey, Mr. Willie, I want to go ahead and just tell you, like, this isn't going to be just easy. Like, this isn't like rainbows and lilies and daisies. Like, there's going to be days we both want to quit. But the point of the matter is, I'm here with you on those days that we want to quit. On the days we want to quit, let's just do something besides Legal Shield and talk about something else. And then I'll give you a day to feel sorry for yourself. And then the next day we'll start working again." Because what would happen is every person I ever sat down with, they would have 5 or 6 people they wanted to recruit. And those 5 or 6 people wouldn't recruit ever the first time. And then the second reason I say don't just lean on one person to make or break you is because every person in my team that became an executive director came from somebody I didn't recruit. And so what I mean by that is I found the first person. A lot of times you don't finish with the people you start with, and then it's going to be somebody that's like 7 people down, that's loyal, faithful, stays with you forever, and really sees the vision in what you're doing. It's never the person that you envision it being. If we all could just like close our eyes and envision who to put in this business with us to be rich, we'd all be $1 million earners, but it doesn't work that way. And then number three, just be somebody you would want to be under. And the biggest thing I tell people is like, if you're sitting there and you owned a business and you were writing the payroll every Friday, would you recruit some of the people you've recruited, would you actually pay them if they were on salary at your company? And if the answer is like, no, I would not pay them, or no, I would not want them on my squad, or no, I would not hire them at my business, then watch how much time you invest into that individual. Because if you sit there and you give that person 20 or 30% of your time, but if you owned a W-2 job company and you were paying somebody every week on payroll, you wouldn't pay them or you wouldn't hire them. You're basically associating with somebody where you've lowered your standards of what you're actually trying to do yourself. And I think that was a big deal for me, because being able to go out and sell, I've always sold 50 memberships a month. So since 2015, I broke 600 apps a year every year. And so I don't want to go mess with people that are not going to do for me what I could do for them. And I don't mean that by they have to be a group marketer. I just mean if I'm a mom and I'm on like a work schedule when I'm doing group marketing, but then I build my fortune at nighttime by recruiting people, I don't want to spend 20 or 30% of the time that I have allotted with somebody that I would have not hired if I had to make them do a job that they could perform in. And I think how I learned that was, you're going to be able to see the difference when people show up with you when you ask them to show up. If there's people that you get a new associate and they're like, well, I can only work with you at this time, you should redirect it and say, well, that time won't work for me. Let me look at my calendar and see when will work. And even if you were open at that time, don't allow people to run you over. Set your own schedule, because when you set a stature of like, hey, I've mastered this craft, you haven't, people are going to respect you a lot more when they're working with you. I've had a lot of people that wanted to just be like, well, I'm going to call you at 10 with so and so and you can sell them the membership. And I'm like, no, you can't, because I'm cutting my phone off at 8 o'clock tonight. And whenever I learned how to be like that, people got so much further with me, because they would call me at noon and start preparing and be like, hey, I'm calling you at noon. I have this girl I'm really interested in. She's a banker and I want to talk to her sometime before 5 today. What time would be good for you? And that's when I would say, try to set them up between 4 and 4:30. And then I could write it down in my date planner. They could get on a schedule. And so far, they would make sure that they weren't sitting there like cheating themselves out of their time. Because if you set it up right and somebody shows up when you set them up, you're going to be a lot more likely to know that they'll keep showing up in the future, opposed to just kind of being a flake. And I don't deal with flaky people. Like, I've told somebody before, like, I'd rather you go be on somebody else's team in the marketplace. If you want me to give you somebody's number, I will. And it's because I don't have time for that. Like, I just learned really quickly as a mom that once I made my $80,000 a year, that was enough for me. And so as I was going to build something more than that, it was going to be because people were working with me on my time. And that's why you're an independent associate, not so you can have the runaround with people. They're going to be like, well, I can only work at this time at 10. Well, if it was an associate that had, like, let's just say 2 jobs, and the only time they could get on a call with me is at 8:30 at night, I would respect the fact that they were hustling with 2 jobs, and I probably would make like a, you know, thing for them. But I would not do that for just anybody that I knew could work at any time, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna turn it back over to Daniel. If anybody has any questions, like, I'm happy to answer them. If Daniel has a question or anybody has anything, but I wanted to make that short and sweet and just let you guys know y'all are in a great place in Florida. Number one, if you go Google it, people are really looking for ways to make extra money in your state because of the cost of living. And then without having a license, the beautiful thing is you can start with somebody on a Monday. They can easily be fast start trained within 48 hours. And that would be the fourth point. If you get somebody to do something in 48 hours, they're going to do so much more than if you wait a week out and say, well, I'll just wait until next week and we'll set something up with you. Well, their fire will burn out in that week's time. But if I called Daniel and I said, Daniel, you just started this thing and I need to know how serious you are. Who's one person that's your ride or die that we can call right now? Every person should have a ride or die you could call and put a membership in just to show the person how it works. And if I was talking to Daniel's mom and her name was Brenda, I'd be like, Brenda, if you're thinking about getting this membership, I'm trying to show Daniel how to enter it. So if this is something that you're like, you're in absolutely buying it today, can Daniel go ahead and enter your membership while we're on the phone? And I close it for him because I wouldn't want him to have to get the no himself. So as an upline, understand how many no's there are. And as a business partner, take the no's for your downline so that they don't get burnt out. And that's all I got.
That's awesome. Hey, Miss Mosley, thank you so much. That was off the chain. Awesome. I mean, guys, off the cuff, pregnant, no camera, just slayed it this morning, guys. So look, if you appreciate her as much as I do, let her know how much you appreciate you guys. Let's go, Florida. Show some love.
Just woke up and can't really breathe that good because it's hot outside.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I hope y'all have a great leader. I know I didn't really throw it back at Daniel. He didn't say a lot about himself, but we always hear awesome things about how he's doing with you guys. So I'm thankful y'all have this type of community with one another.
Well, we certainly appreciate you spending some time with us this morning. And yeah, they know me. We're 45 days in, seeing each other this early in the day. I think we're all pretty much a tight-knit family at this point. So we definitely appreciate you, Miss Mosley, spending some time with us and sharing those amazing words of wisdom. And in closing, guys, I just want to circle back to, how Miss Mosley started off the conversation. Her mother was approached, was shown Legal Shield, was not interested, but the fortune was in the follow-up, was what, was Miss Mosley's word. So homework for today, guys, circle up with your accountability teams and push each other to at least 10 follow-ups today, right? Do 10 follow-ups today and hold each other accountable for doing 10 follow-ups, right? Let's start this week off strong. You don't got to dig for new people. We've been working all last week to find new people. We made extra calls last week and you push each other to do that. So proud. Let's make sure we're doing the follow-ups because that's where the fortune is hiding for you guys, right? So love you all. God bless. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Miss Mosley, you have an incredible day and thank you for being with us. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Go Florida.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone. Have
This
a
was
great
great.
day, everyone.